Hey, hello, good morning. So, you like the way I just stopped the music? It was so professional, wasn't it? Okay. Anyway, I just figured I am actually, honey. I am wearing my Mega Crush. Yep, my purples. Yes, I am. Um Anyway, so that's funny though that you say that. And Anne, it's so good to see you here. Ooh, and you got my favorite Betty Davis next to you, from Baby Jane. You don't get better than that. Hey, Pink Pineapples, it's good to see you. Very good to see you. Um, so anyway, before we begin, I just wanted to mention a couple things. Like for example, over the weekend on the members only stream, I did kind of cover this, but I'm just going to briefly mention it. Guys, do you see all that nonsense about that bear cup? I mean, now I see a lot more people covering it. There's so many videos about it now. But, um, you know, the other day there weren't as many, but, by Monday they really got out there. I wasn't here yesterday because I had no voice. And, yeah. Anywho, so I'm glad to see you guys here, by the way. And I just can't, like, what is wrong with us? Like, seriously, guys, what is wrong with people? I don't hello, Punch Monkey, again. Nice to see you, nice to run into you again. Um excuse me, guys, my throat's still a little nothing Diet Coke and coffee can't, soothe. Diet Coke is and fixes everything. Hey, Axelot. I'm wondering where, and there she is. Oh God, those things. Yes, I hear you. I hear you, but I knew you'd be here unless you were very for real busy, like, doctors or something. Um, my throat is still like sore on one side, so please excuse me. But I just had to come back on. And that should work. It's worked for me about the unsubscribe and then resubscribe. And then just make sure that it says all for the notifications. My hands feel so dry. I wish I had some cream right here, but I don't. Okay. Crazy Jill thinks that if she puts cream on her hands, right, while they're dry, and then she touches things, her hands are going to get dirty quicker, and just all this crazy crap. So yeah, I'm a little off the beam, guys. A little bit off the just a little tad off the beam, okay? But anyway, happy Tuesday. And so I've got two things that I know I want to show and talk about. But what, like I said the other day, and I don't know why people came flying into here like trolls and, saying stuff. It had nothing to do with them. I'm talking about like saying what I want to say instead of like being afraid of taking a side about something. And I don't mean like YouTube arguments. I mean, sorry. I mean like if something happens and it's anywhere near political or something or anything, I'm always afraid to say what I think or what I feel. Sometimes I don't even want to leave a comment because I'm like, what if somebody sees it? And then they're gonna think and da 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 da. And I got to the point where it's like, fuck it, man. Who cares? Who cares? If people don't are gonna not want to come into my chat anymore or view my streams because they don't agree with something that I align with or whatever, then have at it. Then go ahead, go on. um I'm sorry to ever lose anyone for those reasons, but I thought, what else could possibly happen to this channel? You know what I'm saying? Like, really. So at this point, it's just a small channel where we have discussions, reactions, and a damn good time, and a lot of stories. So, um, it's it's cold as funky. Really? It's cold here. Actually, yeah, it's pretty cold. And I had to go drive an hour one way and an hour back the other way this morning. And I didn't think I'd be doing a live, but when I saw how early it was when I got back, I was like, shit, I could do it. I could do it. Right. Me and look at the way she says it too. Oops, sorry, Fernette. Sorry. Look at the way she says it. Bitch, I don't agree with you, but I'm still here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Why don't you and your lizard people just calm down, okay? Okay. But see, yeah, it's like anonymous. We don't agree on a lot of shit. Damn. But there's stuff we do agree on, and we laugh our asses off together. That's just how it is, and that's all that was about. So I can't understand why there were trolls in here, because it had fuck all to do with them. Anyway, so that's what I meant by oh god, Fernette. I love it every time Fernette comes in. Okay, she's either mopping, cleaning something, cleaning chairs, cleaning floors, cleaning ovens. Now today she is cleaning her oh god, I wish I had a walk-in shower. And the Clorox is giving me life. Oh my god, you're as crazy as I am, Fernette. Oh, good god. I wish we had a walk-in shower, especially for my dad. Anyway, so yeah, you gotta have the bleach. Get the 12% peroxide, Fernette. You will never bleach the shower again. And I love bleach smell. I can handle it to a point, but it's Taco Tuesday, but I'm going to make fried chicken. You're just throwing everything off here, and you're just throwing it all off. I absolutely love to clean my oven door. I made 4 sheets of bacon yesterday. I can't take it. She's hilarious. These are hobbies include cleaning oven doors. Okay. All right, you guys. So today our first thing is, you saw on the thumbnail, you need a warrant to come in my home. I'll tell you, if I haven't told you, that you just don't let police waltz into your house. Most of you know that, and most of you would try your best to stop it. Okay? And back in the day, when I was a so-called wild child, I absolutely had to convince my parents, especially my father, do not let them in this house. Unless they're strippers. Oh my god, that's so funny, because I actually know cops that we were friends, and he told me that one time he got a call for noise, and when he got there, it was a bachelorette party, and they thought that they were the strippers because he was good looking, and I guess maybe the guy that came with him was, I don't know, but they started trying to take their clothes off, and they were like, "We're real cops. We're on a real call," and they they almost had to like arrest a woman for trying to open his pants. Oh, I was dying. I was absolutely dying. I'm like, dude, you could have left there with dollar bills sticking out of your pants. Or, with lots of money just like hanging out of your pants. I'm catching up. Oh, just ignore them, Anonymous. That's what I do. I ignore all shit. I ignore everything. I used to not open my own mail. How crazy. Okay. So anyway, yeah. So I used to be like, you do not let them in the house unless they have a warrant. And then if they want to speak to me, hand them. I had like a stack of my lawyer's cards. Okay. And she was a shock. She was excellent. And I would be like, tell them to talk to my lawyer, whatever they wanted to talk. I didn't even know or care what they wanted. Bam. Unless they're here to have a warrant to arrest me. Also, there was another situation once where it wasn't me, it was my ex, but I know what you mean, Axelot, especially like back in the day. For me, it was like back in the day if I couldn't pay bills or something, and I just didn't want to know. It's like, what did I think? My phone or whatever wasn't going to get shut off if I just didn't look at the bill. What is that? you know but it was the anxiety of it and worrying, and it just no. I finally had to get a notice on my mailbox that said, please empty your mailbox so that we can continue delivering your mail. I was like, Jesus, this is embarrassing. Yeah, I feel you though. I'm better too. um Now I'm not as afraid of my mail, so that's good. So that sounded crazy. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so it was for my ex. I was over his house at the time, and they came for him for something. And I'm sorry, guys, I have to take a sip of that in my throat. Okay, so they came. He knew as soon as we both knew by the way they knocked who it was. And he's like trying to yell, I'm not here. And his mother purposely did this. She did. I know she did. They know you're here. They see Jill's car. They see Jill's car. They know Jill's car. That's sad. But anyway, he was like, damn, like, the thing is, once you let them in, they can go in any room that you're in. And he definitely did not want them up in his room. So they claim that they found something in his room that used to be illegal. Okay. And I was there. It was not in plain sight. It was inside of a drawer. And it was in like a cigarette pack, and they had to open it. It was not in plain. Yeah, it was on the dresser, but it was inside a cigarette pack, and the cigarette pack was like turned over. So I watched him. He had to turn it over and open it to see what was in it. So it was not in plain sight. I signed some papers for him, and that got dropped. But you know, I think his mom just wanted him the hell out of the house for a while. Seriously. And I remember afterwards his parents fighting. They were so freaking dysfunctional, dude. The stories I could tell about them. Okay, let's I get those too, Jill. Thankfully, my mail lady has been doing our mail for 22 years. Oh, she knows that I have anxiety issues with the mail. She's carried it to the door and doesn't leave notices anymore. That's sweet. Growing up, I had the same guy for many years, and it was like our family. So I really, at that time, I didn't avoid my mail, but yeah. Anyway, okay, let's jump into this because this is about this particular one is about our civil rights and how a officer waltzed right in to somebody's house, had no warrant, was told no, he could not come in, and also made an arrest to the point where it became an ordeal, and there is an interview with her. So let's check this out. And, the state of this country is in such a mess that it's like, holding on to our civil rights is like beyond. It's so important, guys. It really is. If you let one thing go, why not move the line again, right? Like over and over. It's just, you gotta be, careful. You got to be vigilant. Okay, here we go. Oh, all right. I'm like when I say in love with this guy, I don't mean in love with him.
You're gonna have to get a warrant if you want anything else, and I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. And that's when he got mad.
Everyone's detained. Come on.
Do you have a warrant?
Come on out.
Do you have a warrant? This is being videotaped. I hope you know that.
Everyone outside now.
Oh my God, her son is out there. Ooh, nice handbag.
I didn't think he was gonna walk straight by me and do what he wanted to do.
Yet another police officer.
Oh, ma'am, and ma'am. Yes, he will walk straight past you. Now, this guy waltzed into their home, guys, with no warrant. Deliberately starving people while doing a Great Gatsby party is next level. It's unbelievable. It's so freaking unbelievable that I am. You don't want me to go on. Really, it's way worse than my Walmart rants. It's way worse. Yes, Anonymous, I would. Hey, Jason, how are you? Actually, believe it or not, weird thing. I thought about you yesterday. I think it was yesterday. The day before. Oops, sorry, hit my mic. When I was like going through something, I saw your name, or I thought I did, maybe I did, but I was like, oh, Jason X, I wonder where Jason X has been, Well, it's good to see you. Yeah, I would sue the crap out of them. The crap. Okay.
Officer caught on home surveillance footage busting in a house without a warrant and illegally arresting this mom in front of her children, basically doing exactly what the U.S. Supreme Court said is unconstitutional.
I just kept asking him, do you have a warrant?
Pretty.
And I was calling 911 at the same time. And about that time, 911 answered. And when I went to talk to the 911 operator, he snatched me up and took my phone away and told me I was under arrest.
You're hindering my investigation.
Investigation
Nevertheless,
into
his
what?
department says they did nothing wrong and they are completely gaslighting the public and the media, lying about what the law is. And there's no way that I am going to allow that. So let's completely break this
hell to
down
the
and
no.
you'll see that there's no getting out of this for them.
He was like, well, I'm in charge, and told me who he was. And I said, well, good. Is it legal for your officer to come into my house without a warrant and arrest me? And he was like, well, no, but that's not what he said happened.
This is girl's house? No, this is mom's house. His mom. Yeah. Yeah.
They came for the Jesus H. Mary.
Everyone's the same. Come
Do
on.
you have a
Come on
warrant?
out.
Do you
Come on
have
out.
a warrant?
Oh, Jason, that's sweet. I like
This
that.
is
I
Corporal
am
Charles
back.
Mills of the Cherokee, Georgia Sheriff's Office, just nonchalantly walking up this woman's front
Like he
steps,
li- like
about to barge into her home through her front
And you
door,
can't,
knocking back
you
her.
know, the sad part is you can't even call 911. What are they going to do? They're going to send other officers. Do you think those officers are going to protect you from those officers? No, those are their co-workers. You cannot just waltz in the house without a warrant. Even if you have a warrant for someone's arrest, the way it goes is they'll come out, you know? But apparently, this is a hindering of an investigation. So Mr. 2020 over here wants to investigate, not no, I don't like it.
Juvenile child without a warrant. And this is Natasha Lopez, the owner of the home, who demanded a warrant but was ignored by Corporal Mills. So why was Corporal Mills barging into this woman's home, and what was his claimed justification for doing so when he did not have a warrant? Well, it started a day or two earlier, where Corporal Mills claims to have seen this guy on a motorcycle, and he wanted to catch up with the guy, and he wanted to pull him over, he wanted to arrest him, but he never did.
What?
He didn't know who he was. But this guy apparently really loves his authoritarian surveillance systems, and he uses flock cameras, which he apparently loves and uses often, to get a bunch of photographs of this motorcycle, which he believes is Natasha's adult son, who's like 21 years old. Now, that adult son does not live at this home with Natasha. Corporal Mills is aware of this fact. The adult son is not a fugitive. The adult son does not have an arrest warrant at this point. This officer is just undertaking an investigation. He believes it was the adult son. He has pictures which he thinks looks like the adult son, but he's already confronted the adult son and he denies it. But Mills just won't let it go. He knows where the suspect's mother lives. Not the same day as he observed the motorcycle. There was no pursuit or anything like that. This is just his investigation. There's been no arrest warrant issued. There's been no search warrant issued. And this has nothing to do with the homeowner, Natasha Lopez, other than she's his mother. So Mills goes to her house. And I think he did so because he saw that the adult son's girlfriend's car was there at that house. And he wants to continue questioning the son. So he goes up and he rings the doorbell. He knocks on the door and nobody hears him. There's no answer. Now, part of the reason for that is Natasha is off at like the trampoline park with the kids. She's not home. But as she is returning home, her adult son asked for a ride to her home, presumably to meet his girlfriend who was there. And as they pull in, guess who's waiting for them? It's Corporal Mills. And he's actually like blocking them from properly pulling into their driveway. I had the opportunity to speak with Natasha about exactly what happened, and this is what she had to say. Had you just been coming home?
I'm about to blow
We were out.
up.
I took the
My
little kids
head's
to like Jumping
literally
World, a trampoline
blowing
park.
up as
We were
speak.
at the trampoline park and my son asked for a ride home, which was like a stoplight down. And so we grabbed him and we came home. And I had no idea the police were going to be at the house.
Not at all.
You know, they knew Chris didn't live with me. They were just at his apartment. So for them to be at my house was weird anyway. He said, "Do you remember me?" And I didn't remember him. I told him no. And he told me who he was. And I was like, okay, what can I do for you? And he was like, I wanted to see if I could ask you some questions about Chris and his motorcycle. And I was like, well, what about it? And he was like, do you know where the motorcycle's at? And I said, well, didn't you just talk to my son like 10 minutes ago? And he was like, yeah. And I said, well, you're gonna have to get a warrant if you want anything else, and I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. And that's when he got mad.
Now, right there, as soon as she said that, it was over. It should have been over. She also should have said, or you could talk to my lawyer, end it. This cop is beyond, and they're gaslighting everybody. And
Where was this conversation taking place?
In my front yard. Yeah, because I couldn't park anywhere but on the side of the road, because him and another officer were blocking my house. So he was parked here, and then there was another officer down here, his partner.
What was the first thing that he said to you?
Do you remember who I am? And I didn't, and I just kind of shook my head confused. And then he was like, I was the officer that investigated the burglary at Hobgood Park. And I knew immediately who it was, because I remember being sickened by him many years ago when he kind of just tricked these young kids, you know what I mean? Just told them it was going to be okay, and then charged them with a felony. And I was very disappointed in who he was back then. So I kind of knew like the direction this was going to go, but I decided to be, respectful and entertain it for a minute. It wanted to see if there was something that I could possibly help him with. But mind you, there wasn't anything.
Exactly.
And I had told him like, hey, you're just going to have to get a warrant if you want anything else from anybody, because I don't have the time to stand out here and do this. Which I didn't say all of that. I kept it short and respectful. But he got mad, and he was like, okay, that's fine. I'm going to go get a warrant to arrest your son. So tell him to stay right there and don't go anywhere.
All right. So they're looking for your son. Then they know that he does not reside at your home.
No judge is going to give him a warrant.
They do not have an arrest warrant for your son at that time.
He can go wherever
they
he
had just came from talking to him right before my house. The allegations is that he had passed my son's allegedly speeding on his motorcycle on a different day. It wasn't even that day.
Oh, this
they were
guy's
going opposite
Looney
directions,
Tune.
allegedly, and he said he tried to turn around. This is just all from like his report, but he didn't have a tag or know who it was, so he used flock cameras. The flock cameras, he traced the bike, went, did all of that, and that's how he ended up where he was. But he didn't have anything outside of the flock cameras, and so that's what he was doing.
Those cameras, those are the same type of cameras, am I correct, guys, that they used to go after that woman and claim that she took the box from office, like being a porch pirate. Meanwhile, she looked absolutely nothing like the girl that took it. She was an older woman, and she was a some financial advisor or something, and the girl that did it looked totally different. So those so those are the same cameras. We're not in the same town with the same cop, are we? Please tell me, because yes.
And I didn't have anything for him. So, I mean, I literally just don't know anything about anything. And this is my home, and I have young kids here. So I was just like, you're going to have to go away essentially, unless you have a warrant. So he got mad. And in response, it was, I'm going to get a warrant to arrest your son, which didn't make much sense to me, because why didn't you just do that 10 minutes ago and arrest him at work? Why are you doing that at my house? Like, it was just really weird. Like, he immediately got very paranoid and very like emotionally dysregulated. Like, and you could tell.
Nuts.
You know what I mean?
Have a badge.
His demeanor did
on in school.
And so I thanked him. Like, he immediately got irritated and said, he was going to do that with my son. And I just said, thank you, and walked away. I went to the house and I told my son, I was like, hey,
get out of here.
He's probably going to arrest you. So just be prepared for that.
Now, he wrote in his report that he talked to you first, and then when you said to go get a warrant, he then applied for and received a warrant to arrest your son.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Is that true?
Yeah. So he told me when I wouldn't talk to him, he told me fine.
What judge gave this man a warrant for this bullshit investigation? I mean, absolutely ridiculous. Sorry, guys, about the phone.
I'm going to go get a warrant to arrest your son. So make sure you tell him to stay there and don't go anywhere. It was more like a haha, screw you type thing. I didn't let him
Okay.
bait me. And I was
And
like,
then get him
my son's
out.
21. What am I going to do? You know, I'm like, okay, thank you. And walked away. And he did. It was about 10 minutes later. He walked back up to the house and said he had a warrant for my kid. And he came right out. My son's very like quiet and kind and reserved. You know, he's not an issue at all whatsoever.
So let the kid come out.
And my son was arrested right there in the front yard. He put him in handcuffs, and that's why we were on the porch. He put him in handcuffs and started to pat him down, and he started to ask him questions. And immediately me knowing like who this officer was and like watching how he just did this with like the warrant because he was irritated. It's like, Chris is going to plead the fifth and he's going to ask for an attorney. And I said, Chris, you need to go ahead and tell him. And so he told him, he's like, you know, I plead the fifth and I want an attorney.
Good
and
for him.
Officer
Good
Mills
for
was
him.
like, that's fine. And then right about that time, I like noticed his partner was down looking in my garage.
Oh, yeah, that's
And
true,
so
Jason.
I
That's
took
true.
my eyes off of him for a minute, and I was like,
thinking.
do you
I'm
why
off
are you
my
in my garage?
game.
I might even asked him if he had a warrant. You know, I was like, what are you doing? I said, Chris is right here. Why are you down there in my garage?
Do you have a warrant from, why are you like in my house, my garage? Okay, well, Chris is right here.
Looking for the motorcycle.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, right? Like that's what I thought too. I was like, okay, these people probably think I'm just being, you know, whatever. Never mind, I have rights, but I'm just trying to be like difficult. And there's a motorcycle hidden in my garage. Like that's what I thought they were thinking, right? But it was weird. And so I was like, okay. So he came up, and about that time, he started. Officer Mills, the one that arrested me and my son, started to take my son to the car. And about that time, my teenager and my younger kids started to come outside because they thought whatever was going on was over. As they came out at the exact same time, Officer Mills said to me and my boyfriend, he was like, y'all stay right here. And at that time, I turned around to my kids and I said, go back inside. But then when he went up to the car, and as I was like standing on the porch, I heard him start to question my kid again. Like as he's up at the car, putting him in there, start asking questions about a cell phone. I told him, I spoke up and I was like, why are you questioning him? He just told you that he wants a lawyer.
He said he's not talking anymore. He wants a lawyer.
At that time, he slammed his car door, and that's when he came back down. I want everybody out of the house. And I was like, no.
What the hell is he?
So he had already arrested your son, had him in handcuffs, and put him in the police car.
Yeah, he put him in the police car.
Our country
and then he was standing there trying to like, and you'll see like in his report, he doesn't say like exactly when, but he does say that he at two different times he was asking him questions about a cell phone. So one of those times was the time that, you know, I had spoke up again and was like, he's already told you. As soon as he was arrested, my son was like, I'm pleading the fifth and I want an attorney. And he just didn't stop. And he was mad, I guess, that I said something about it.
Well,
that's when he slammed the door from up there. And he came back down, and he was at that point, everybody out of the house. And I was like, no, do you have
everyone out of the house?
He was like, I have reason to believe there's contraband in the house.
Come on now.
And I was like, do you have a warrant? And still at this time, I'm thinking he thinks the motorcycle's in my garage, you know? So I was like, he needs to do the work, get the warrant, and then he's going to be disappointed because there's not a motorcycle in my garage, you know?
He can.
Show me a warrant.
I believe that there's contraband evidence in my
Show
crime
me a
inside
warrant.
this house.
Show me a
So I
warrant.
need this house cleared.
Show me a warrant.
Oh my
No, you
God,
won't.
this guy!
I'll call the
I'm
police
getting
on
sick.
you. Get
Do
I have
you,
dogs in
Jason?
my house.
Everyone's
I'm
the same.
sure. I'm sure.
Do you have
You're
a
in
warrant?
Australia, am I right?
I hope you know that.
Even
You
to
don't have to
lawfully
answer that,
arrest
though.
your son. So he knows your son does not reside there. If he's going to arrest a
Now
third
he's
party
making
in your
up
home,
shit.
he needs more than just an arrest warrant for the third party. So if he's coming to your house to arrest your
man.
son who doesn't live there, he needs both an arrest warrant for your son and also a search warrant to enter your house. Did he ever get a search warrant for your house?
He got a search warrant to search the house for his cell phone. And that was it.
After he had already searched the house for his cell phone.
No, he didn't search it, but that was after he came in the house and made everybody get out and arrested me. 30 minutes later, he got a warrant for a cell phone. What she did not find
What?
in the phone in the house. See, none of us knew what he wanted. That was another thing.
do.
We didn't know what the hell was going on.
Anything he could find.
That's why I called 911, because I didn't know
Harassment.
what he was doing. I didn't think he was going to walk straight by me and do what he wanted to do, because that's what he did. He walked straight by me, and pushed, the door open and went inside.
I've seen some cops that can come in, but they are nice enough to at least ask the owners of the house, like, may I come in? And if you say no, then they'll bring up the warrant that they have and show it to you. And I saw this happen when they came in someone's house, and after they were in, they said, well, we did have a warrant, but here's your copy. Like, they didn't act like RoboCop here. Something, I swear, I don't know where these police where they are departments are hiring from. Like, what's the bar here? Where do we set the bar? Where is it set? Because this is crazy. It's not, I mean, my God, I end up disappointed so much by them. But then again, I'm Jill.
Behind the door, and he was videotaping at this point, through the top of the door. And so the officer smacked him with the door when he opened it.
Everyone out of the house. Everyone sit down.
Do you have a warrant? Do you have a warrant?
And that's when he came in, and I came in behind him, and I called 911, because I don't know who else are you supposed to call when you need help? And I felt like I needed help. His partner, I would have thought he couldn't even speak, because he wouldn't do anything. He wouldn't talk. He didn't, so I felt like I needed to call for help.
Then that's
I
what
didn't
he is.
know what was going on. And I felt like I have dogs in there. So my first thing was like, oh my God, what if he shoots them? Or, my young kids are in there, and I was scared. But as soon as he opened the door and went in, he told my kids that they were, everybody was detained, get out of the house.
The kids?
I just kept asking him, do you have a warrant? And I was calling 911 at the same time.
Do you have a warrant? I'm going to call the police, and I don't care. I'm going to call the cops.
Everyone outside now.
What's your name and your badge number?
Look at these little kids. Oh my God. What is wrong with this man?
Do you have a warrant? Do you have a warrant?
Right now, everyone out of this house, right now.
He threatened to arrest me. He said, if you keep obstructing me, and I said, I'm not obstructing you. I have small kids and dogs in this house. Do you have a warrant to be in my house? And about that time, 911 answered. And when I went to talk to the 911 operator, he snatched me up and took my phone away and told me I was under arrest.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, because he didn't want them telling her.
You're hindering
my
Your investigation into what?
I called the police to confirm that you had a warrant.
And then he pulled my arms up to I had to go up on my tiptoes and turn. He pulled I'm 5'3", and he's super tall. And I felt like he was intentionally, he was pulling my arms up to my shoulder blades.
Oh, he came in first without a warrant, arrests you inside the threshold of your home, right?
Oh my God.
Still does not have a warrant.
Mm-mm.
Anyone else in the house, make yourself known, please exit.
I want my phone.
Doesn't he walk around inside your house after he arrests you?
He could take
He does. He walks around inside my house. He makes all the kids get out. So it was only my children and then my son's girlfriend that were in the home. And you could see it in the video. They were all standing right there in the same area, wondering what's going on. But they knew I didn't want them to come outside, because I don't want them to be and they didn't want to be I'm sure you saw my 9-year-old that night has literally changed him. What they did to him traumatized him to his absolute core.
Look at him.
And it got worse after that, because I got took to the car, and again, I've never been arrested. I've never been in trouble. So I didn't, I got in the car, and then about that time, a lot of officers started showing up, and I could see them.
Oh my God.
But none of them had came to the car. And I was I remember saying that I wanted a sergeant or a boss or somebody that wasn't this guy that was breaking into my house. And so I started yelling in the back of the cop car because it's soundproof and you can't hear yourself. So I didn't know if they could hear me. And so I'm like yelling, trying to get attention. Officer Mills' partner, Officer Hart, came to the car along with 3 other officers. And one of those officers was Lieutenant Brookshire. He's like 4 foot tall. And they came to the car and they opened the door and they're like, what? And I'm like, well, first I need you to take my jacket off because I'm gonna have a panic attack. I have like panic disorder, and being confined was probably one of the reasons I've never been in trouble, because I can't be in confined spaces.
I know.
But I was like, and also I want to talk to the sergeant. And he kind of piped up and he was like, well, I'm in charge, and told me who he was. And I said, well, good.
Sorry.
Is it legal for your officer to come into my house without a warrant and arrest me? And he was like, well, no, but that's not what he said happened. And I looked at Officer Mills's partner, Officer Hart.
I love that she
and
has
I said, well, you were there
in a house.
Why don't you tell your boss what your partner just did? He wouldn't say a single word. He would not even look at us. He would not. And so it made me look stupid. So then I was like, okay, well, there's camera. And he was like, well, we'll watch the body cam. And I said, no, I have like house surveillance. You can go watch it and see that what I'm telling you is the truth. And he would not do it. And I said, okay, well, I had already been in the back of the car for some time now. So I was like, well, if you're going to take me to jail, can you just go ahead and take me? I felt so violated. I know. Stressed. You know what I mean? Like, I was like very upset. I was like, wow, this is really bad. So they got the search warrant for the phone. And when they got the search warrant for the phone, they came back to the porch, because they all detained all of my kids and stuff to the porch for like 30, 40 minutes.
Bet
so
he loves police
on the door
now.
And announces, sheriff's office search warrant, which I'm like, you already detained everybody and arrested me. Why are you doing that?
Because it makes him feel good.
I'm gonna get the one dog.
Then
I'll bring them up.
I'm gonna get the what?
And then goes in there and searches for a few minutes. On one of the cameras, you can hear him telling the other officers that my son doesn't live there, because they were under the impression that he lived there, because they were like, where's his room? And they were like, no, his house is not here. This is his mom's house. And they were like, what?
Where does he stay when he's here?
Oh, I love it.
Apparently, you moved from North Carolina like 2 weeks ago, and he's living in that apartment with the girl. Okay.
She never should have told them about the camera in the house.
Yeah. Yeah. But I know when, at the point where I was like, he's under arrest and he's going to be, I know she came in to get him, and it appeared, I didn't see her go this way, it appeared like she went that way to where he would have been. So
what? What are you doing? All of this because pulling over a dude on a motorcycle? Oh,
I saw where they had made a statement to the news media. Something of their claim was that it was legal what he did because he was searching for people, or he was clearing the scene for officer safety. I believe it was.
He said he was. They made it out like they were in a
drug
like a high-speed chase type thing, and they were doing a protective sweep after arresting him, and they're glad somebody didn't get hurt. First of all, there was no chase.
The sheriff's office stands by their deputy, and while they wouldn't allow me to release the body cam footage publicly, they did allow me to view it, along with giving me a statement on Tuesday. In it, the sheriff's office says its deputy entered the home as part of a protective sweep before getting a signed search warrant for Lopez's son's phone.
But in reality, the chase he's alleging wasn't that
right,
day.
Axelot, right?
And the suspect that he thought was believed to be involved in that chase, he had already arrested and was outside in custody inside his police car. So that was over with. And they're telling the news media that they just had to do a protective sweep to go inside your house, and that's why they didn't need a warrant, because of officer safety. But in reality, that arrest was already over. Your son was already in custody in the police car. And in his report, he says he went in without a warrant because he was looking for the cell phone. And he thought because you guys were all you and your kids were such a bunch of like hardened criminals that you were going to destroy that cell phone before you could get a warrant for it. His report does not match what his department told the media.
I know.
Which sounds better that, it was just, there was this arrest. He had an arrest warrant for the son. And so they were just doing a protective sweep for officer safety, just for the crime scene. Right. So he didn't and that wasn't it
I
at
hope
all.
to
Like,
God
he
this
literally
went to
went in your
court.
house to search for evidence that he just speculated could be inside your house.
Mm-hmm.
And because you told him no, he arrests you inside your house, also without a warrant.
Mm-hmm.
And then they gaslight the public by telling the media that, well, it was just a protective sweep for officer safety.
Yeah.
Even though that's not what he wrote in his like 5-page report that he
Diatribe.
typed out, probably pecking with one finger.
How
How long were you, did they actually take you to jail?
They actually took me to jail.
How long were you in?
Fingerprints. I had to strip down, mugshot, the whole 9 yards.
Humiliated
I was
her.
there only that night until sometime like after midnight. I was able to get out. But I mean, they
But
said they gave me
how?
$1,000 bond, and I've never been in trouble before in my whole life. I'm like,
Are the criminal charges
So that's
against you still
100.
pending?
yes.
What?
Can you believe that? Yep.
You have not been to court yet on what you were arrested for.
I do have attorney, and he tried,
Good.
to send her, ask her to, essentially shit or get off the pot. But it's still pending. She's not, which is crazy because
When you say she, who are you talking about? The prosecutor?
Mhm. The
And
prosecutor,
which prosecutor is this? Which prosecutor's office?
Cherokee County.
So the Cherokee, did you call solicitor? Is that what they call
What
them?
state
Mhm.
is Cherokee
misdemeanors.
County, Florida? Is this
All right, so
Florida?
the Cherokee
or
County Solicitor's Office is the one prosecuting
what
this.
state? Does anybody
you
know
haven't
what
been to court
state
on it
this
yet.
is?
No, but what's crazy is my son's girlfriend was arrested for obstruction, but then when he dropped her off, he gave her like a citation. Her and my son were immediately given their court dates immediately. You know what I mean? But
I
for
was
whatever
gonna ask,
reason,
I had a
mine is
feeling.
just, I don't know if they're
Anonymous. Thank
intentionally
you.
sitting on it, or I don't know. At this
Well,
point,
they're going to try to get you. I would suspect, having done this my
Jesus
entire
Christ.
career and also looked at these cases from across the country, when they're caught on video violating
any of 'em,
constitutional rights, no
Axelot.
excuse for what he did, going in your
They
house,
probably
arresting
all
you
have
illegally,
one.
violating the privacy of your home illegally. There's no excuse for that, except if you were to be convinced or coerced to plead guilty.
yeah, no.
I mean, even though it was an illegal arrest, and it should be thrown out, and hopefully will be, you could still waive your rights and plead guilty. And that's what they do to people, is they coerce them. And so they have you under bond. And imagine if you couldn't afford the bond, you're sitting in jail.
Mhm.
What they have to do is to get you to give in and plead guilty. And then it doesn't matter
That's
what
right,
the facts
Jason.
are. All that matters is that you said under oath that you are guilty. And so it doesn't matter anymore. So that's what they want. That is the only thing that protects his ass
Showing him going
from
through. I
what
would
he
feel
has been
so
captured on video doing
violated
here,
with them in
hoping
my
that
home.
you end up pleading
I
guilty.
don't.
No
And
way.
or I guess the judge could find you
How
guilty,
do
but
you-
what
God.
they really have no, unless they're able to delete this footage all out of the world. There's no defense, in my opinion,
Yeah.
anyways,
I,
that they would have
I wouldn't have
to
even
convict
told
you.
them about
It would
the
only
cameras,
be to coerce
because
you, and maybe
I
they
think
try to
they
use
would
your
have done
son against
more.
you. I mean, that's I wouldn't put it past them
I know.
that they try to work out a deal. All right, what's more important to them now, like the motorcycle thing and going after your son, or
I cannot
cleaning
even
up
believe
what they were caught doing here? So we'll help.
I cannot even believe that this is started all over that guy wanting so bad to pull over a motorcycle. Okay, so you didn't get him. Are you that hard up that you have to go to those, what are they, flock cameras or whatever? No. You just, you let it go. You deal with it. Now, if you see it happen another time, that's different. But you just let it go at that point. All right. I mean, grow up, dude. I feel like so many of these police were picked on in school and got a badge just to get back at the world. I don't know what it is, but
help out your son. We won't send him to prison, but you got to plead
prison
guilty
for
on
speeding.
this. I mean, if I had to guess, that's
Is
what they're
it
doing
anonymous?
because they have no case. As soon as it goes to court, it's probably going to have to be dismissed. They needed a warrant to arrest you in your own home, according to the U.S. Supreme Court. They need a warrant to search your own home, according to the U.S. Supreme Court. So it was an illegal arrest.
We're not taking a plea. We will file for a speedy trial as soon as you formally accuse me, and we will appeal it. If anything else, if I'm found guilty by a judge by some means, we would appeal it. I wanted criminal charges taken out against this officer. I felt like he was no better. I've never even had my home broken into. You know what I mean? Like, he was no better than a criminal breaking into my house. And when I went back and watched the footage of how bad my 9-year-old was just completely so scared and traumatized,
that
I haven't
my
been
heart.
able to watch it. I watched it once or twice, and then I just can't even go back because it makes me so disgusted, so angry.
Loved,
they know. I know. They know damn well.
Go nuts.
They watched that body cam or the videos you provided. This guy had no right to. When your son is in custody already in the car, to demand everyone out of your house and go in your house without a warrant when you tell them not to, and then arrest you. I mean, there is no excuse, and they know damn well their only hope, like I said, is that you end up getting convicted because you consent to it. Isn't it always true that the cover-up is worse than the crime? I mean, one rogue deputy, one rogue police officer not understanding or not caring about basic constitutional law 101, violating basically the most basic and most important rule of all of constitutional law. I mean, the one that we fought a Revolutionary War for, not having the government go in people's houses and search and arrest them without a warrant. But the situation where the employer, the government agency itself, is either so corrupt, so incompetent, or so brazen that they attempt to gaslight the public, just putting out there in the television news this straight up BS cover-up. But that actually makes it very easy for me to do my job here. So let's go through their statement to the media, and then let's look at Corporal Mills's own report and see if those two things match. This is their explanation for why what the public was outraged about was actually perfectly okay and not illegal. While conducting a felony traffic investigation involving a motorist traveling at dangerously high speeds, evading law enforcement, and endangering the public, notice they don't say when, it wasn't even the same day. A Cherokee Sheriff's Office deputy arrested Joseph Helms. The deputy believed that evidence of the suspect's crime was inside the home where he was arrested. The deputy requested everyone exit the home in order to secure it until a search warrant could be obtained. The homeowner physically obstructed the officer from securing the home by standing in the doorway and blocking it.
They are admitting something illegal. You are not allowed to be in the home until we're going to just empty it out and we're going to take control of your house until a search warrant can be obtained. This is not somebody, not to be funny, but this isn't like Gacy or something where, there's, what, under the stairs, Oh, thank you, Pass for Pets. Oh, wow, you made it before it ended. Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. So, thank you, Pass for Pets. We'll have a story time. So, woo, 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 woo. Thanks, Pass for Pets. I appreciate you. Oh, I didn't put them on the wrong. Hold on. There we go. Then pull the car dash cam. Yeah. BWC. What's BWC? Pull all. Oh, body. Wait, I have no idea what BWC stands for. Something cam. I don't know. God, I look like an idiot. Okay. As per usual. Thank you, Pass for Pets again. Oh, body worn camera. Okay. I've never heard it called that before. But yes, I would be too, to catch the little words, so you can hear better, like that. But they already admitted right there to, in my opinion, a crime. You can't. Remember I told you the story recently about my dude, his son was doing something stupid, and they came to the house and they were like, like they had a warrant. So he said, well, give me my copy, let me see it. And inside, though, he was fuming at his son, but no, they never handed him a warrant. So they said, well, it's on its way. He said, well, when it gets here, let me know. And he shut the door and locked it on them, right? So he told his son, I don't know what happened from there, but when the warrant came, he opened the door, took his copy, and had to let them in, But this guy is completely out of control. This is out. You cannot do this. And I don't know why they're getting away with it in this country. I just can't understand it. I'm going to stop this one because really we saw what happened. Unfortunately, going by the date, there was no, outcome yet. But yes, absolute power trip. That guy was one of those, the kind. Okay, they're in every country. All right, you guys get a story time. Okay, all right. So this story time is sponsored by Pass for Pets. Pass for Pets is an absolute darling. Okay, so that's my commercial voice, All right. Yeah, I'm sure. So have I, Jason. Oh, so have I. All right. So, story time. So, this girl, I think I still remember her name, but it actually doesn't matter. Okay. But, let's just call her M. Okay. So she had the coolest thing. Her I don't remember if it was like a grandfather or her parents. I don't know who built it for her, but when she was a kid, they had built her a Snow White and Seven Dwarfs house in the backyard. And this was not just like a little playhouse. This was like awesome. So as you become like a teenager, it was the perfect hangout spot where, like, there was things to lay down on, there was drinking and all that kind of stuff going on, right? So but I'm not gonna lie, it was a cute, cool little house. I remember thinking, damn, I know I'd be doing that, if I had this little house. Right? So oh, wait a minute, something ain't right here, hold on. Oh, okay, sorry, I had a little technical problem. Okay, so so it was really cute, and I'd be doing the same shit. Okay, so anyway, thank you, Pads for Pads. Now, I would probably feel guilty though doing some of the stuff in it, if depending on who built it. You know what I'm saying? Okay. All right. So me and this guy had been kind of seeing each other. Now I'm like an older teenager. Okay. I'm not like under 16. I'm not under the age of, consent in that state. I believe I was probably somewhere between that age and 17, somewhere in between. So there is no another age in between. Okay, you got me there. All right. So well, I got me there, right? Okay, so I was like I had a boyfriend. We had been seeing each other for a while. Kind of like on and off, since we were like 14, and in those days that was like so long, I did end up growing up with him, so whatever. But we were in the Snow White house and we were using it with the permission of the girl, but the girl and her friend, like the other people, weren't there. They had gone somewhere. So, oh my Lord, her parents were looking for her and they were like yelling her name. They're yelling her name. And I'm like, oh my God, you think they're going to come in here? And so we just like stay completely still, which was stupid because now we were not in we were, how do I put this? We were in a certain position and staying completely still was not a good idea. Okay. Should have been putting myself together. Okay. But no, us two dummies who had a few beers stayed in, how do I put this? Okay, so I think it was like, all right, yeah, we were in missionary style, okay? Usually I don't never tell these kind of stories during morning time. Anyway, so her parents do come in. No, this one isn't that bad. It's not that bad. Her parents, the father came in. And the first thing he did was think for a quick second that it was his daughter. And he grabbed the guy off and then realizes, and they don't really know me. They've seen me, they've met me, but we weren't like that close of friends, me and this girl. You know what I mean? She was more of a friend of a friend. And we sometimes all hung out in a group and whatever, and we would be sometimes drinking in the Snow White house. So anyhow, yes, we totally got caught. And oh Lord, it couldn't just be left at that. The father wanted to know what my name, like he knew my name. The mother knew my name and told him. And then they were like, how old are you? And they wanted to call my parents. Oh, Jesus. Okay. That's where I got scared. Okay. Now I'm scared to death. Okay. First of all, I'm embarrassed. Now I'm standing there with my pants and panties down, okay. Or my shorts and panties. Like, oh God. And I had to put like a leg back in one, and oh my God. And then I'm picturing this guy's all through someone that age is eyes, not like an adult, because as an adult, it's different. But I wasn't an adult, I was young, and this freaked me out. And so now I'm terrified they're gonna call my parents. Oh my Lord, my mother would have killed me. No, my dad, he was the lenient one, okay? He was the one you go to when there's trouble, okay? He's the one. But no, my mother, she wouldn't have been having it. No. I would have been like grounded. What the hell are you doing this in somebody's backyard? And something, she would have said something crazy like that, because so I said, please don't do that. Please don't call. My mom is sick, and I wasn't lying about that. She was sick. She ended up passing away when I was 21, but she had been sick going in and out of hospitals, at the point, and I did not want her, I'm like, please don't. And I looking back as a selfish teenager, I hope I didn't use that because I just didn't want them to call. That was probably what I was doing. But my mother was no joke, okay? She was no joke. I was more scared of my mother than anything. Like, not that like she was gonna beat me or anything, and I never would have touched my mother, but being that she was weaker, it wouldn't have mattered. I see some kids today like doing some shit to their parents that I don't understand. Like, how do you get to that level of disrespect, Okay, so anyway, yeah, so I got out of that. They did not call my parents, and I ran down the block until I was all the way, and the dude, he was yelling, Jill, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. I just wanted to get out of there. And so I hear from that girl M like the next day, and she called, and oh, please, anonymous, my mom one time, yeah, she not only threw me out of the car, but another time she not physically, she pulled over and said, get out. But she did throw a cup at me at dinner once in front of my friend too, because I was being an asshole. I was being a straight up asshole, a teenage little asshole. And what bothered me is that the girl that was over was saying stuff about my mom doing that, and I was just like don't tell. I became defensive of my mother. It's weird, right? I had a good mom, though, let me tell you. I didn't want to have one of those parents that didn't care that you got caught in somebody's oh, don't worry. My mom had this spoon. She didn't really hit us with it, but she would threaten. And when we were real little, she anonymous, she would, and everyone else, she would pull it out, and the drawer was squeaky that it was in. And so we would hear that drawer and tear it, run our asses somewhere and beg for forgiveness from afar, Mm-hmm. But yes, that was a very embarrassing. Like, you guys know, like, if you look back to your teenage mind, how embarrassing that was. Yeah, and it's like Pads for Pets. I totally, yeah. It's absolutely. It's gotten to the point though now where the trauma, right. No, I have no drama from, at least not from that. But come on. People go a little too far these days. It's like, okay, so I saw this at a mall. There was a a girl. She was walking, holding a little boy's hand, and there was like I don't know, maybe there was another guy around her age, but then there was like one of what seemed to be one of their fathers or both their I don't know. All I know is that the kid was being really bad, and that he was young, he had a diaper on or whatever, and the guy who was like one of their fathers or whatever, he or seemed to be, gave the tiniest little spank to this kid. Okay, I was sitting on a bench going through my bags, and this kid was not even affected, didn't blink an eye, didn't turn around, nothing. It was like nothing happened to him. And these old ass freaking ladies stood up, and that they were sitting on like there was like two benches next to each other, back to back. I mean, like, so I was on one and they were on one, and we could both see it. And because it was like coming towards us, and then they got involved yelling at that guy, and the guy told them to sit their old asses down, and I started laughing. I couldn't help it. I was by myself too, and I just started laughing. And they were like, "You think that beating that child?" I said, "Beating? That guy didn't beat that child. That child didn't even feel that through what seems to be a diaper or something. That kid didn't flinch. What are you talking about, beating him?" I just laughed and said, "You ladies really need to get a life and butt it out of other people's." And I remember getting up and just leaving and shaking my head. But it was like, this kid, there's a difference between like discipline and beating, really, really hitting the child. But like, how it is. I got some PSD from her. I can't handle garage doors opening. I'm sorry to laugh, but that was funny. Yes, that's another thing. My mother only had to look at us. Like I said, my dad was the lenient one. Yep. But yeah, I see about the being caught in that little Snow White house. If they would have called, I would have been in trouble by my mother, but I would have felt back then, I would have felt embarrassed in front of my father. Do you know what I'm saying? Like now I'm grown. I'm not going to be embarrassed, but then it was a different story. I was definitely would have been embarrassed, but yeah. So thank you so much, guys. I will save the other story for another time. Hey, Jack, how are you? You might want to go back in time because this was a good one, and a pretty cool, story time. Thanks to Pass for Pets. Top messages is asshole. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Do you want me? Oh, Jack. Jack is always late. Well, I do have there's actually one thing that I was going to show if you guys wanna get your Pass for Pets, thank you. But yeah, my throat is actually hurting, so I'm going to. That's why I'm not going to do it. I apologize. I was going to give it a try, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it. My gland is like all swollen and stuff. So, but Jack Burton, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Thank you. You guys are awesome. Yes, sorry. I learned respect. Yeah, you just, yeah, definitely. You always have those friends that you'll get over it, Jack, huh? Oh, good luck, Axelot. You always have one of those friends, guys, that can get away with anything. They have a parent that just doesn't care what they do, what time they come home, all that. And you know what's weird is I never really thought that was cool. Even in the day, at the time, I never thought that was cool. I always knew my parents, I had parents that gave a shit because of that, you know? I put them through some shit over some really stupid shit sometimes, and till this day I feel bad. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go take some medicine and go lay down. Like I said, if you weren't here before, I actually had to get up at 3 and drive an hour, get ready, then drive an hour, and then drive an hour back. And yeah, so I'm tired, and my throat's killing. But I was like, hey, I can do it. I can make it. And I did. So I'm glad you guys showed up. And again, thank you, Pass for Pets. And I'm glad you made the live, because you're so funny in your comments about missing it. But don't think I don't appreciate the comments. Anybody, please leave comments. Make sure you hit the like button. Anything you could do, I'd appreciate. Yeah, Jack, I'm sure. I know. I think we all kind of did, I think we all kind of did. And then we get older and feel sorry. Sometimes I apologize to my dad for shit I did when I was young, and I'll be like, I'm sorry. He'll be like, for what? Or no, more like, for what? Like nervous to hear what I'm gonna say. But all right, you guys, I will see you. Paz Pets is an OG chatter. Oh, really? Aw. Well, I think they're awesome. I've liked them since I started, meeting them. I don't know how else to put it. I don't feel bad. Of course you don't, Anonymous Patriot. You're a nut. I'm just joking. All right. All right, you guys, have a really, really good rest of your day, and I will see you hopefully tomorrow if I have a voice, okay? Bye.